I always wanted Hollywood to have its version of the varsity club. Just some jocks, just some jocks. And I was like, if I can get guys with like shoot backgrounds, like, and we maximize that, like, let's play with that. Like, I felt like wrestling had really gotten away from the sports background of a lot of guys, and to benefits and to negatives. Like, I was cool to learn that someone was like when I've heard that Lance Storm was like an all-star volleyball player. I was like, that's fucking fascinating. Like, that's why his drop kick is like 30 feet in the air. So I was going to do a jock group called Pac-3, and the original, it was always going to have Dan Joseph in it because that he is a jock. Dan just has a jock chin, and he plays hockey, and he's probably, all his teeth are probably fake from playing hockey up in Buffalo. Like, he's a jock, And so the group was always going to have him in it. And the original group was Dan Joseph, and it was going to be Mike Camden, and it was going to be Anthony Idol. But Mike, you had stepped away. And Idol didn't want to change his name because I was like, hey, bro, I want to change your name for this. And he was kind of like, well, I don't feel like I should have to. And I was like, okay, like, we definitely disagree on this, bro. Like, it wasn't heat, but I was like, I need you to understand how much I'm disagreeing with you on this right now. I was like, but don't worry, like, an opportunity will come. And it did. And he's embraced it fantastically. But yeah, the original group was I was going to have Dan be a hockey player. I was going to have Idol be the big football player. And I think for you, I was going to have you be a water polo player.
Fuck you.
But the reason for that is just because, you have the longer lean body. And in high school, I had really serious issues with my water polo team. So I was like, man, like, how, like, for me, water polo guys were jerks. They were heels. And I was like, in this heel group, what could be better than like a jerk water polo guy? And so I was going to have that be you. And then, the group ended up being Flex and Dan, Dickie, and the Water Boy sometimes. But that was just something funny that, I'd had you penned for that, Mike. And then you had stepped away for a little bit. And I was like, well, I don't know how to make it work.
I remember that. I stepped away. And, you looking back down, in your past and the decisions you make, I kind of regret stepping away, but at the time, I really felt like I wasn't really like good enough. Like I wasn't really producing, and I wanted to like get better. And, it was just, I look back at it now and I go, man, that's probably a stupid decision to make, but hey, you learn from it. And,
you learn. I was just bummed because Angelo and I had planned for you to feud with Scorpio Sky. So you would get to that level you wanted to be, because Angelo and Dave were like, man, like Camden's really good. And I was like, yeah, he's really like, he'll be fine if we can keep him around. And then after that, losing that feud to Sky was how you were going to end up in Pac-3. Like that was like the whole thing. You'd be a babyface in that, and losing would kind of make you a shithead, and you would start associating with Dan, who was coming out of being in Footloose and turning into a shithead. So like I had like I write my stories for like months and months and months. And so that was how that was going to go. But I don't know. You would have probably had to work in some really tiny trunks.
Yeah, man.
But, just the under Speedo.
It's one of those things, it was a decision I made. I look back at it now and I go, probably not the best decision. But, hey, it is what it is, man. You take it as a learning experience and you just keep moving on,
The good news is that Sky never ended up doing anything with his career, so it probably wouldn't have mattered much.
I'm not sure what happened to Scorpio Sky. I never saw him again.
No, man.
Never saw him again.